Hi there, soul lovelies. I welcome you all once again to my YouTube channel. So you're going to be learning how to draft these shorts. If that is what you want to watch, then keep on watching this video. So the first thing I did was to minus 2 inches. And this 2 inches is what I'm going to be using for the waistband. From then, I'll go ahead and mark my vertical measurement, waist to hip, waist to the crotch, and the red line serves as the full length of my shorts. So now I'm going to move forward and remark it as well to get a perfect straight line. So guys, if today is your first time, you're highly welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, comment and share this video if you can. So I have all my lines like so. So now the next thing we are going to do is for us to go ahead and divide our round hip circumference measurement into 4. This is because my hip circumference measurement is bigger than my waist and I just have to use it, okay? So you have to do the same on the half length, but before then I decided to label out the lines so that you guys will be able to remember each and every line, okay? So I have it like so. So with my straight ruler, I'm going to connect that hip circumference measurement divided by 4. Okay guys, no sewing allowance has been added, okay? So from this point, I'm going to divide my hip circumference measurement by 20. And whatever thing I get, I'm going to mark it starting from the end of that straight red line that we just marked, okay? So from that point, you are going to divide your round hip circumference measurement by 20, and whatever you get, you have to mark it. So from the end of that red line also, I'm going to go out by 0.2. This is because you do not have to make this curve we're about to create to just touch the hip line. You need to go out just giving it a little bit of curve like so. Okay, so this is our crotch extension for the back pattern and we have secured it. So from this line, you're going to come in by your waist circumference measurement divided by 4 and plus 1 inch. The 1 inch is because you're going to be adding a dart, okay? So 1 inch dart is okay for a trouser or a shirt. So now from this point, I'm going to connect it back to the hip line like so. So now after this, the next thing is to slant the waistline down because this is the front pattern and we need to go down at that point by 0.5, and you have to use your French curve to connect this point because you do not want that place to be straight, okay? So I have it like so. So at this point, I'll go ahead and find the middle of the crotch line. By doing so, we are going to be creating our crotch or our plumb line, okay? So and to do this is to find the middle of this line, and you are going to mark half of it at the full length and just draw a straight line. So this line is called the plumb line and it is used to centralize the measurements we have on the knee or the thighs or the ankle. You can't centralize your measurements properly without this line, okay? So now after this, the next thing we are going to do now is for us to go ahead and divide our thigh circumference measurements by 2, and whatever answer you get, you are going to mark half of it in between the line, that's the plumb line. You have to mark half at the other side, at the side front, and you mark the other one at the center front. Okay, so assuming I have 10 inches, it means that at this point I'm going to mark 5 inches. Then at the other point I'll mark 5 inches as well. Okay, so now after this you have to use the French curve to connect this point, because you do not need a straight line at this point. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and connect it like so. No sewing allowance has been added. This is because we are using a pattern drafting technique, and we do not normally add the sewing allowance to the pattern. Okay, so if you have been a fan by now, you should have known that we do not add the sewing allowance to the pattern, just like I said. So now the next thing for you to do is for you to come at this point and mark 1.5. We are trying to draft the fly zipper. Okay, so to get the fly zipper you have to mark 1.5. Most people can even use 1 inch or sometimes 2 inches, but 1.5 is okay. So you have to extend the waistline and then you draw a straight line. Okay, this is just very simple to get. Alright, so I'm just going to make a little dash line so that I'll be able to connect it just like so. Okay, and we have our fly zipper, guys. I'll just make it visible. So now I'm going to draft the back pattern. So from this red line you have to come in by 1 inch. Okay, this is the back piece. We are now drafting the back because we are done with the front. So at this point you come in by 1.5, and from that 1.5 you have to go up again by 1 inch. So now you have to connect your slanted line, because this line is not straight, it is slanted, and that is how it is supposed to be. Okay, so from that slanted line I'm going to take my tape and come in by my waist circumference measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch. Okay, so I have it like so, and I'll just go ahead and connect it. So on the hip line you're going to extend it by 1 inch. We are going to do the same on the crotch line, then on the full length 0.5. Okay, so we are almost done. Drafting shorts are always very simple if you get the tricks. It is not hard or difficult. Okay, so I'm just going to connect all these points. Did you see how I changed the position of the French curve? This is how you are going to do yours, so that everything will come out perfect and beautiful. So at this point I decided to use a straight ruler. Okay, so having gotten it like so, I'm going to extend the hip line and the crotch line to meet the back pattern. Okay, so now the next thing for us to do is to mark our crotch extension for the back. So what you are going to do is to divide your hip circumference measurement by 10, and you are starting to mark from the green line. Okay, So whatever thing you have, you mark it like so. So on the full length, you're going to mark 0.5. So with this, I'll just go ahead and connect the 2 points. Did you guys see the way I position the French curve? This is just how you should do yours, so that that place doesn't need to be straight. Okay, so on the hip line again, from the end of that line, you have to go out again by 0.2, because this is just the same thing we did for the front. We do not want that point touching the hip line. At this point, you really need to make sure you position the French curve really well to get these points together. Okay, did you guys see how I position mine? That is just how you do it. See you guys on my next one. Bye.